Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the grandson of a bloodbender and got Harem? The movie. Huge shout out to KingBeasta for this story. If you want more awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. A cloaked figure watches as Katara gives a speech about hope. The cloaked figure smirked under his hood, showing off his fangs. It seems like Katara hasn't changed one bit. But now it's time to reveal news to these Fire Nation trash, whispered the cloaked figure. A few months ago, the cloaked figure had heard how some of the Fire Nation soldiers would arrest earthbenders by a mining village. Upon hearing this, caused the cloaked figure to get angry. He always hated the fact the Fire Nation, or people, would oppress people. So he came up with a plan to get himself aboard the ship. He contacted one of his earth-bending friends, Chiffon Fairchild. Both of them had set up a plan of him earth-bending. This plan worked. And now the cloaked figure was just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. He then headed clapping, turns his attention to the warden with a dark smirk on his face. The cloaked figure growled at the arrogant man. "You're first to die," thought the cloaked figure. As the warden stepped in front of Katara with his Fire Nation soldiers, "Kukuka, silly little girl, these people have no spirit. What you've been doing was quite admirable, but it's useless," said the smirking warden. Before the man can say anything, he sees a cloaked figure around 5 feet 7 inches. The person had the body figure of a male. He had black gloves, dark brown cloak, and dark blue boots. Everyone is shocked at this mysterious person stepping forth, since all of them were too afraid to even stand up against the firebenders. "You with the cloak, take off that damn cloak," ordered the warden. But the cloaked figure doesn't move, not once, just staring at the warden. The only thing the warden sees is the person's piercing blue eyes. This enraged the firebender. "I thought I told you ear," but before he can say a word, be felt as if someone's choking him. What the funk is this?" groaned warden. Katara had a downcast look on her face. She wanted to help, but deep down she knew he was right. "Alright, fine, but do you need me to do anything?" asked Katara. If she couldn't help him against the elephant walrus, she would help him with any other task he needs of her. Naruto nods his head. "Yeah, actually I'm going to try to distract the elephant walrus. While I'm doing that, I want you to get the dolphin lion far away from us." "Got it?" asked Naruto. Katara nods her head. "Yeah, I got," said Katara. Naruto smiles at her. "Wish me luck, Snow Princess," said Naruto. As he runs towards both animals, he then raises his hands, commanding the snow to form into 10 snowballs. "Slice and dice," said Naruto. He then hurls the snowballs at the elephant walrus. Naruto then smirks, seeing the large mammal's attention no longer on the small dolphin lion. "And on who threw the snowballs?" "I shits for brains," yelled Naruto. And magically somehow the elephant walrus knew Naruto was talking to it, not likely being insulted by something actually smaller than him. Glares at Naruto. "Yeah, that's right, you piece of fat shit, take the bait," whispered Naruto. He then commands the snow beneath him, transforming the snow into a bowling ball-sized snow. Back he chucks the giant snow how at the elephant walrus, hitting it dead in the face. This caused the massive animal to roar in anger. The elephant walrus then charges at Naruto with the intention to kill and maybe maim Naruto with its tusks. But Naruto is surprised at how fast the beast catches up to him. "Man, for something so fat he sure moves when he wants to," said Naruto. He then starts running away from the beast. Naruto then performs a backflip as he's in the air. He commands the snow beneath him. The snow starts to move and shift into a snow-like wave. "Catch me if you can," said Naruto, as he taunts the large beast. As Naruto surfs along the snow with the elephant walrus on his, he then transformed the snow wave into a snow snake. Let's see if you can keep up," thought Naruto, with Katara. As Naruto was leading the elephant walrus away, Katara is carrying the dolphin lion in her arms to show its appreciation. The hybrid animal licks Katara's cheek, causing her to let out a giggle. "Come on, stop it, that tickles. We got to find you somewhere to escape from that elephant walrus," said Katara as she lets out a few giggles. As if understanding Katara, the hybrid animal stopped. "Thanks, little one, now let's find you somewhere to escape," pondered Katara as she looks around the icy plain. She finds a path connecting to the ocean. "There it is," said a cheerful Katara. The dolphin lion looks up to Katara with its big yellow eyes. The baby then follows where Katara is looking at. When seeing a path to escape and rejoin its family, the dolphin lion starts laughing in joy. Suddenly they hear a loud roar and see Naruto trapping the elephant walrus in an ice prison. Katara then snickers at her friend, full well knowing he was having a blast. "Well, it seems like someone is having a ball," teased Katara. The dolphin lion then giggles at seeing its tormentor getting what comes to it. As Katara walks over to the pathway, Katara couldn't help herself be amazed and impressed with his prowess in water bending. She knew he is a great waterbender. But sadly the only waterbenders she actually knew were him and her diseased mother, so she couldn't agree with Naruto being the best waterbender. Gran was right about Naruto. He is like a free spirit, one that won't be caged or controlled by anyone, said Katara. The dolphin lion starts giggling at the sight of the elephant walrus trapped. Now it knows how he felt. Katara started to giggle at seeing the dolphin lion enjoying the elephant walrus pain. She looks down at the dolphin lion grinning at the hybrid animal. Well, let's get you back in the water and rejoin your family. What you think about that, little guy, said Katara as if she's talking to a baby. The hybrid animal giggles at Katara, becoming quite fond of the girl in front of him. Katara quickly jogs over to the water path. Since she's not sure when the elephant walrus will break free from its icy prison, she glances back, seeing Naruto turning the snow to ice to try to stop the ice. Still can't believe how amazing Naruto is. I wonder if I have a chat dating him. He's a good person, and really reliable and dependable person, unlike my brother. But my brother is self-taught, but that bat mongoose still sucks. But I can tell he hates the Fire Nation as much as me, but I think he hates it way more. I guess I'll just have to see where Naruto and go from here, thought Katara. Katara kneels down on her knee. She opens her arms open, allowing the dolphin lion to crawl out. As the dolphin lion looks towards the sea and the dark-tanned girl, the dolphin lion then slightly tilts its head. Katara then sighs at the fact the small animal may have bonded with. Come on, little one, you gotta go. It's too dangerous to be here, reasoned Katara. Katara then kneels down on her knee. She then pets the dolphin lion head, earning a purr from the hybrid creature. Come on, little one, your family is waiting for you, said Katara in a motherly tone. The hybrid creature may like the nice waterbender, but it did miss its family, and it is thankful for the nice girls saving it from the hungry elephant walrus. The hybrid runs heading toward the water. The dolphin lion jumps high in the air and dives straight in the water. The animal then makes a giggling sound as it swims away. Katara took this as a thank you. She smiles at the fact she was able to help a family rejoining its family. You're welcome, little one. At least you are able to reunite with your family, said Katara in a sad tone as she thinks about her mother. With Naruto. Naruto smirks at the large animal that's trapped within ice. Naruto hears footsteps. As he turns his head, he sees Katara. Naruto then hums to himself. So Katara must have gotten the baby into the water, thought Naruto. Katara looks in awe at the icy prison. Well, what do you call this technique, asked Kathata. As she wonders what the move is and hopefully able to learn the move, Naruto just smirks back at her, grinning like a fox. It's called ice prison. Pretty awesome, wasn't it, said Naruto. He then grins at the elephant walrus. Naruto playfully pokes the elephant walrus. The elephant walrus growls and angered at the blonde-haired boy teasing it. Katara then sighs at her crush. He always enjoyed teasing people, no matter how it humans or animals. Hell, if spirits were in the physical world, Naruto would tease them. Would you please stop teasing it, pleaded Katara. Naruto then pouts at Katara for ruining his fun time. He then waves his hand in front of her. Yeah, I hear you, said Naruto, grumbling about sucking the fun out of everything. But before walking away, Naruto then turned his head, smirking. But first, slice and dice, yelled Naruto. The blonde turns around and raising his finger, suddenly the ice around the elephant walrus start to melt. Before the elephant walrus can escape, the water turns to ice, freezing the elephant walrus. The only thing that isn't frozen is its head. Naruto then turned his head to Katara. Okay, let's go, Katara, yelled Naruto, turning away from the frozen animal. Katara nods her head, following the young blonde. Flashback end. Katara then looks confused at what he's doing, not fully understanding what her crush is doing. Naruto turns to Katara, smirking at her. He then turned his attention to the Earthbenders. Listen up, Earthbenders, as you've seen, I took out these Fire Nation troops. I know some of you might not wish to fight or endanger yourself and family, but just like everyone here, we all knew the Fire Nation will not stop until the Fire Nation has complete control over the other nations and kill anyone who's in their way, said Naruto. He then looks around, seeing each of the Earthbenders, Katara, and even the Firebenders listening to him. Naruto then looks around, catching Sokka, a bald boy with an arrow on his head, riding on a flying bison. So that's the Avatar TSK. What a funking disappointment, thought Naruto, with his eyes narrowing hately at the airbender. Naruto then continues on with his speech. But with the Avatar returning, instead of taking a stand, taking back their country, town, or village, but no, they sit around for funkin' brat who ran away from his goddamn job. Instead of owning up and become the Avatar, he ran away. Ran the funk away like a motherfunkin' coward. Because of his funking cowardness, many people who have suffered. Tell me how many funking lives were ruined, children left parentless, mother and fathers having to bury their own children simply because of one person's cowardice. So instead of waiting for boy, we should take matters in our own hands. Time for waiting is over. This 100-year war has gone long enough, and now it's time to end this pointless war. You may not want to fight, but that's understandable, but I and my group will fight for freedom, said Naruto. Everyone looks wide-eyed. Katara is left wide-eyed at his speech. She understood what he was saying was true. It is true that Aang is the reason for her mother death, and the 100 years still going on. As much as it's Aang's fault, it's also Roku for not killing the Fire Lord of his time. Even the somewhat lazy Sokka, the Earthbenders, look shocked. Some even look inspired at the young man. And Aang looks down at the mention of it's his fault that the war is still going on, and the death of all the people of the past 100-year war. Haru's father Tyro then steps forward, having his gaze at the young blonde bender. Young man, I have to agree with you. The time for hiding is over. It's time to stand up for ourselves. I will join you, but what do you plan to do with these fire benders? Asked Tyro him along with his son Haru. Other earth benders and Aang were wondering what Naruto is going to do, except for Sokka and Katara, who knew Naruto hated the Fire Nation more than the Firebenders loved to kill dragons. They both knew Naruto was going to kill the Firebenders. Naruto then grins at the old man. Simple earthbender, I plan to kill these Fire Nation scum, said Naruto. He then turns his head to the terrified Firebender. At hearing the blonde boy was going to kill the Firebenders, this angered the bald pacifist. He jumps off of Apple with his staff in hand. He then glares at Naruto. I won't let you hurt them, declared Aang, finally getting ready to fight Naruto. Sokka looks shocked at Aang. He knew Aang wasn't smart, but he believed he could tell how strong Naruto is, but it seems the spirits aren't on the young airbender side. Sokka knew he was not just a powerful waterbender but a warrior too. Aang, no, don't do this, man, yelled Sokka as his voice is laced with distress. Aang then smirks smugly at Sokka. Don't worry, Sokka, I got this, said an overconfidence and somewhat hot-headed Aang. Naruto sighs, then mutters, funkin' idiot. He then gazes at his water tribe warrior friend. So you're traveling with this funking idiot, teased Naruto. Sokka then chuckles at his friend. Yeah, I guess I have to be an idiot to be hanging around him, huh, asked Sokka. Naruto nods his head. Yeah, you're an idiot, but I guess you wouldn't be you if you weren't, said Naruto. He then turned his attention to the airbender, and now I have to deal with that stupid pacifist. Tell me, Arrowhead, have Katara or Sokka ever talked about me, asked the curious Naruto. Aang shakes his head negatively. No, they haven't, lied Aang. Of course Katara and Sokka talked about the blonde boy. They would always say how great he is and what a great waterbender and fighter he is. But Katara would talk most about him, always saying how great, amazing, and kind he is. This of course made Aang jealous of the blonde for having the attention of his crush. Naruto then gives the airbender a half smirk. You're a horrible liar, you know that, right, said Naruto. He of course knew Katara and Sokka would have talked about him. He killed teasing and taunting his foes. It also helps when you have great hearing, rivaling a bat mongoose hearing. Move or be moved, demanded Naruto, not really feeling like dealing with a dumb kid. Aang shakes his negatively. He then swipes with his staff, creating a dangle air wave. Naruto just sigh. Naruto breathes out cold air. He then morphs the cold air into a water wall, blocking Aang's attack. Naruto blows a huge misty fog. He moves his hands around, creating a mist dome around Aang. Usually something like this would be easy, but with the mist become under 10 degrees makes it hard. Naruto then creates a water ball to go to the back. He calls back his water ball, and inside the water ball is a staff. Naruto then pulls out his staff. Naruto's staff is dark blue and had black fur and white wrappings around the staff. Naruto then slams his staff on the ground, creating a medium-sized water slash. When it connects with the mist dome, it dispersed and threw Aang hard against the rail of the ship. Give up yet, asked Naruto. Aang just shook his head. No, never. Aang spins around, sending multiple air waves at Naruto. While Naruto just looked in phase, Naruto then bended the water into an once wall, but the ice doesn't hold up that much. Naruto then turns the ice into water particles. This caught Aang by surprise. As Naruto smirks, he then swings his staff, turning the water huge waves of water. Naruto spits them up, commanding them to hit Aang from all sides. Aang grits his teeth in frustration. Aang then senses a hit from behind. He then performs a perfect split as another wave coming at Aang. He then pushes air bends, causing him to go backwards. Aang presses his hand on the floor and shoots off like a rocket. Aang then creates a dun of wind. He then spreads out his hands, sending the water away. Just as Aang believes he could rest, he's shot in the chest by a small water bullet. This causes Aang to fall on the floor. But Naruto doesn't let up. He then brings his hand up. Water from all over the boat and sea gathered up around the avatar, creating a large water ball. Naruto then brings his hand down, causing the avatar hit the ground hard. Naruto then walks over to the avatar. Give up yet, asked Naruto, but came out more as of taunt. Aang grits his teeth anger. He then air vents his leg and swipes under Naruto's feet. This caused Naruto to be lifted off the air. Aang doesn't stop his assault. He performs a double open palm air attack, hitting Naruto in the chest. Aang jumps in the air, performing a drop kick air attack. When the attack hit Naruto dead on, caused Naruto to hit his head rough, but Naruto quickly reacts with a headbutt, hitting Aang in the chin, causing the young pacifist to bleed blood and his teeth to chip. Naruto smirks. He then dies a right jab water attack hitting Aang across the face causing him to fall, but thanks to his air bending training Aang dies a one-hand stand. He then spins his body creating a mini air tornado. Naruto claps his hands together creating a water hand clap splitting apart the tornado. Aang twirls his staff around swinging across and swing down creating a double air attack. Naruto's side flips away from the air attack. He then closes his fist. The water on the ground creates for snow fist. Aang is then punched in the face, chest, and stomach. This caused the young boy to breathe heavily as he just got the wind knocked out of him. Aang then uses his staff as a support, and stopping him from falling on the ground. He then breathed heavily while glaring at Naruto. I won't let you hurt these people, yelled Aang. Aang grips his staff hard and swings up, down, left, right, and sideways creating multiple air waves. Naruto grits his teeth as he's hit with a barrage of wind. Naruto flew back harshly with his lip bleeding. Naruto whips the blood away glaring at the airbender. Naruto then sighs. It's time to end this thought. Naruto he runs blow hot steam from his mouth blinding the avatar. He rushes at the avatar punching him in the stomach causing the airbender to gasp for air. Naruto then right hooks the avatar in the face causing his jaw to crack. Naruto then water bends commanding the water to hit the airbender in face causing him to fly and land harshly on his back. Naruto then backflips onto Aang's chest knocking the wind out of the young boy. Naruto then gets up from Aang and blows a huge wave of mist. When the mist connects with Aang, Naruto turns the mist into ice freezing Aang completely. The only thing left was his head, but Naruto made sure to freeze his mouth and to make sure you don't cause any more problems for me trailed on Naruto. He then waves his hand around and from above Aang a huge pile of snow forms burying Aang under snow. And now for the Fire Nation scum. Naruto grabs his cloak and puts his staff away as he turned his full attention on the firebenders. He bloodbends each of them. Aang couldn't do anything but watch as Naruto begins to kill them. Please don't do this, pleaded Aang. Naruto just gazes down at Aang then back at the firebenders. Please don't kill us, begged the warden. Naruto just stares him with uncaring cold blue eyes. No, said Naruto. He then bloodbends around the firebender's chest. He then uses his bending to crush each of the heart of the men. Now they're dead, said Naruto, as he releases his blood bending allowing the firebenders' dead bodies to fall. Aang then looks at dead men Naruto just coldly killed. Suddenly his tears to fall at seeing someone ruthlessly kill people. How could you just stuttered Aang. Killed a bunch of murderers, possibly rapists, oppressors, cruel men who enjoyed putting people down. Please tell me why the hell should I feel any remorse for people who take pleasure and joy from people like them? TSK such a stupid boy, growled Naruto. He then hears footsteps behind him. He turns and sees Katara behind. Hey Nana Naruto. For I mean Sokka, and I miss you, said Katara in a sweet tone and sad one at having to watch her crush and friend fight. Naruto then smiles warmly at her. He of course caught her slip up, but he didn't feel like ruining the moment. Yeah, me too Katara, I especially missed you, said Naruto. Katara's dark cheeks blushed red. So what you plan to do now after saving these people, asked Katara, and hopefully they can spend some time together even for a little while. Naruto then sigh. He then smiles cheeky at her. I gotta meet up with one of my friends, Cha-Cha Akaza, Kimi Sato, Annie Leonhardt, and Gaara, said Naruto, informing Katara. Katara then has a downcast look. Naruto then places his hand under her chin lifting making her look at him. Don't worry, we'll see each other again, I promise, said Naruto. Katara looks at him with her bright blue eyes. You mean it, asked Katara. Naruto nods his head. Yeah, believe it, said Naruto grinning at her. Wait, how are you meeting with your friends, asked Katara concerned for her crush. Naruto just smirks at her. I have a ride, said Naruto. He then whistles. Suddenly a huge sea salamander comes out from the ocean. That's my ride, Katara. See you and Sokka later, said Naruto. He then jumps off of the boat and landing on his salamander head. The salamander looks like Hanzo's salamanders, as earthbenders, water tribe siblings. And Aang watched Naruto take off. She then looks down at Aang, sighing. Aang, that was really dumb fighting him, said Katara. Aang doesn't say anything, still not happy at his loss. Yeah, I have to agree with Katara, fighting him wasn't smart. Hell, I think I'll fight these earthbenders before fighting Naruto, stated Sokka. Come on Sokka, help me free Aang, said Katara. He nods his head, getting off of Apps and helping his sister. After getting Aang freed from the ice team, Avatar turns towards the earthbenders. The water tribe members were happy to see their friend, hoping they'll see him again, especially Katara, but Aang was still sore at his loss, and someone who had crush on Katara, and he could tell Katara already has a thing for the waterbender. As Team Avatar look around, they try to avoid looking at the dead bodies. Well, Aang tries to, since he was taught all life is precious. Haru then smiles grateful at them while he shoots Aang a nervous smile, not sure what to make of the Avatar since he tried to save the people who enslaved them. Thank you Katara, you really helped us, said Haru, shooting the waterbender a grateful smile. Katara just nonchalantly waves back at him with a nervous smile. Oh no, it wasn't me, it was just the rocks and Naruto mostly, said Katara, who's blushing in embarrassment. Tyro smiles back at Team Avatar. It wasn't just the rocks, but it was you, Katara. Your words and the words of your friend that had us gain back our earth-bending spirit. We are grateful to the both of you, said Tyro as he bows to her and her friends. Aang then turns around glaring at the aged earth-bender. How can you hold someone in such high regards when he'd killed those men? Yelled Aang in frustration. Tyro glares into Aang's eyes. The airbender steps back in slight fear. You ask me how I can hold someone in high regards when he had saved everyone here, including my son. Tell me, child, do you know what it feels like being in constant fear? Asked Tyro in a serious tone. Aang shook his head negatively. Tyro then sighs at the naive child. Then you don't know what's like for everyone. Let me ask you something. Do you know many people here have died, or the woman who were raped when the Fire Nation had started arresting us earthbenders because of the gifts we were born with? Asked Tyro. Aang bows his head down in embarrassment at being lectured. No, I don't, but they. Tyro then increased his glare at the young avatar. You're maybe in the right place, but you just don't understand what it's like to be in constant fear in years. That Naruto killed those men because it had to be done. He seems to understand what must be done, said Tyro. Aang then walks to Appa. Sokka then rubs the back of his head nervously. So, what are you guys going to do now? Asked Sokka. Tyro places his hand on Haru's shoulder. He then smiles down at his son. Return back home, and then start rescuing others like us, said Tyro. Katara smiles brightly at them. I wish you guys luck, said Katara. Her and Sokka get on Appa and wave back at the earthbenders. With Naruto. Naruto smirks at his sea salamander. Well, that was fun. It was fun seeing Katara and Sokka, said Naruto with a grin. He then looks down to the black salamander. Hey, Dokusui, poison water, I gotta say I was unimpressed with the avatar, said Naruto. Dokusui lets out a loud roar, which Naruto grinned at. Yeah, you're right, buddy, the avatar is a coward after all, so expecting him to be a good challenge was just wishful thinking, said Naruto. He then stands up. Now it's time to meet up with Cha-Cha, Kimi, Annie, and Gaara. Grin Naruto. Dokusu then dives down in the ocean. Naruto then waves his arms. He bends the air, creating dome around himself. He then sits back down, grinning him. I wonder when we'll see Katara again. Hopefully the next time I won't have to fight any fire asshats, and that bald brat won't start something, but I highly doubt it, said Naruto. Naruto then hums to himself. I wonder, is Annie still an emotionless bitch? Ahaha, yeah right, like that would happen, chuckled Naruto. He then thinks back to when he met her. She was honestly one of the few firebenders who didn't enjoy enslaving, killing, or just making other people's life a living hell. Flashback 2 years ago. After hearing about some Fire Nation soldiers taking over Moon City, a small town within the Earth Kingdom, a 13-year-old Naruto had decided to venture out to the small town to liberate the people from the oppression of the Fire Nation. Naruto narrows his eyes as he looks at all the terrified citizens. Hell, the young waterbender was even able to find children laying on the hard floor near death from starvation. Naruto even saw dead bodies of children. He even saw a man eating a dead child, and he was pretty sure when he entered the village he saw a woman eating a baby. Naruto then gets sick to his stomach. He then cringes in disgust. Naruto then rubs the back of his head in frustration. Ugh, if only Avatar Roku had just killed Sozin, then maybe this village and the world wouldn't be at war. Hell, the next Avatar could have picked up Roku's slack, groaned Naruto in disgust. Unlike everyone who either worships the Avatar or pray that the Avatar will return someday, save everyone, not Naruto. He has a strong hatred for both Avatar Roku and the Avatar, but if he hated anything more than the two Avatars, it's the Fire Nation. He wasn't stupid enough to hate everyone within the Fire Nation, since he knew there was a few good people, but that still didn't mean he show kindness to them, since trusting someone right of the bat is idiotic, and only a fool would possibly do that. As Naruto walks through the village, his path is blocked by 3 buff men. Naruto narrows his eyes at the men. Do you people need some help? Asked Naruto in suspension as each man have a scummy dark grin. So, these guys must be your town thugs. Ugh, great, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. I doubt Gaara has to deal with these types of idiots. Well, besides Cha-Cha and Kimi, but those two aren't really idiots. Kimi is smart, but I don't know what the funk you would call Cha-Cha. I guess unique, but at least she isn't an arrogant firebender, thought Naruto in annoyance. One of the men grinned at Naruto. Yeah brat, give us your money and everything you have, demanded the man. A skinny yet lean man grinned at Naruto, showing his gold tooth. Yeah, do what our boss Jakai does. That's if you know what's best for you, grinned the skinny man. A really fat man just smirked at Naruto. I say we just kill him and rob his dead corpse. Isn't that a better plan, Jikai, Toda? Growled the fat man. He then grabs the large hammer that was strapped to his back. Toda grinned sickly. Yeah, it does. Zoten, what you think we should do, boss? Asked Toda, grinning at Jikai. Toda stares at Naruto with an insane look as he licks his lip with his tongue. Jikai grins wide, showing of his teeth. 10 of our solid gold. Yeah, let's just kill the shrimp, after all he's alone. Grinned Jikai with a dark and twisted look. Naruto sighs at the three buffoons. He always hated dealing with people who think they can do whatever THRY want because they can bend or just because THRY can. And these idiots were getting on Naruto's nerves. He wasn't sure if these three were just stupid or damn straight stupid as funk. He figured each were using at least a quarter of their tiny brains to make a decision. Naruto then groans in annoyance. He narrows his blue ocean eyes at the town group of thugs. Naruto silently cursed his luck with trouble. It seemed like trouble loved to follow him, like when a group of water-bending gangsters had kidnapped Cha-Cha and Kimi, and was planning on to first rape the girls then sell them for slavery. Well, that was before he heard of the water-bending gang. After killing them and meeting Cha-Cha and Kimi, he had earned 2 new friends and people who wanted to join him and his cause. He'd asked Cha-Cha why she wasn't with the Fire Nation, and her answer was, those guys are jerks, they're no fun. All they care about is fire. Killing and more killing, they are so lame. Naruto had honesty, couldn't believe she was serious. He then thought back and couldn't blame the ebony-skinned firebender. Naruto then puts his hands in his pockets as he gazes at the 3 thugs. You guys are a bunch of funking idiots, aren't you? Asked Naruto, but it was more of an insult. Zoten then growled at Naruto. What was that? Did you just cock stupid? Growled the fat man. Naruto then claps his hand. He lets out a sarcastic laugh. So the big does know how to use his brain. Tell me which side of the brain decides what to eat? Asked Naruto with the slyest smile. Zoten's face turns red with rage. Why, you lit shit stain? Growled Zoten in anger. He glares with hate. As he glares at Naruto, he grabs his hammer and swings. Hammer done. Naruto smirks at this. He dodges left, avoiding the attack. Zoten glares at Naruto in hate. Zoten continues his assault of trying to smash Naruto's head to mush, but as much as he tries, Naruto just skillful dodges his attacks. Zoten glares at Naruto with fresh sweat rolling off of his face. He then pants heavily. Naruto grins at this. He then gains a mock sad expression. Naruto places his hand on his heart. "Ah, have you tired yourself out, you sad piece of trash?" Insulted Naruto. Zoten saw red. He then blindly charged at Naruto with the intent to personally crushing Naruto's head. Naruto grins at Zoten. He then mutters, "Fool." Naruto then runs at Zoten. Naruto slides between Zoten's legs. Both Jikai and Toda raise their eyebrow at this as they watch their friend just stand still, but suddenly Zoten gets sliced in half, shocking both Jikai and Toda. Naruto gains a smirk. He then bends the blood, shocking the 2 men. "Die, trash," whispered Naruto. The blood raised from the dead body. The blood ride from the body, creating mini blood balls. Naruto then freezes the blood, turning them into frozen blood shards. Naruto smirks. He then points at both Jikai and Toda. The blood shards then pierce both of them, killing the 2. Naruto puts his hand in his pocket and walk. "Okay, now that I got rid of the 3 stooges, it's time to start helping these people," said Naruto as he searches through the town. Like searching through the city, he cones across 5 firebender soldiers beating on 2 little children, which causes the blonde to snarl at the firebenders in anger. He grabs his staff behind. He then swirls it around, glaring at the firebender's eye. "Shit stains, how about you missed with someone who can defend themselves?" yelled Naruto. The 5 firebenders turns toward Naruto. They glare at Naruto, not that he knew, since the soldiers were using a mask. Naruto couldn't see their glare. One of the firebenders steps. "So, Brat wants to play hero," stated the firebender. Another firebender steps up. "Let's teach the brat a lesson," said the firebender. Each of them nod each of their heads. The 5 shoot a fire from each of thy palms, creating a flame wall, shocking the 2 children. Look in shock as the blonde boy is covered in the wall of fire, but once it hits Naruto, a large mist covers Naruto. Once the mist clears, a WATE dome surrounds Naruto, shocking everyone. "A waterbender!" exclaims the firebender. Naruto within the water dome smirks like a fox. "Why, yes I am," said Naruto. He slams his palm on the water dome, creating a water disc. The disc cuts the firebender's head. Both stood shock. He then bends the water. He waves his hand around the water, slams the other firebenders against the wall. The firebenders quickly, they then shoot off punches of fire, but Naruto disables them with his own water strikes. He then swings his staff, creating a water crescent moon. The crescent moon cuts off the firebender's legs, causing the man to scream in pain. Naruto jumps in the air. He then presses a button on his staff. The staff separates into 2 halves, then a blade pops out. The last thing the man saw was the sword nearing his face before he can even firebend. His face is cut in half. One of the firebenders growls in hate at the waterbender, while the one next to him is shocked that a child is able to easily kill a full-grown man. Naruto turns his head looking at the three firebenders. 2 down 3 to go, said Naruto in a cold voice void of any emotions. He then connects the 2 blades, creating a double-sided sword. With the blade in his right hand, Naruto opens his left, and the blood from both bodies comes out and swirls around Naruto's hand. The blood then morphs into a spear. Naruto grips the blood spear tightly. He then grins at the 3 firebenders. Well, shall we continue? Asked Naruto with a dark grin. One of the firebenders stood shocked at the waterbender. While him and his men have fought against waterbenders before, he had never witnessed a waterbender as young and skilled like this boy in front of him, not to mention use waterbending in such a deadly way that was remarkable yet terrifying. The firebender stares at Naruto with fear. What the hell are you? Yelled the firebender. Naruto blinks at the firebender. Who, me? I'm just your friendly neighbor Whirlpool, grinned Naruto as he points both blade and blood spear at the firebender. Naruto then bends blood and water, creating water and blood Saman. The needles of water and blood piece the firebender. The man falls back dead. Naruto grins at this. I think I'll call that move Blood Rain Needles Shiryusen, said Naruto. He then turns towards the 2 firebenders. Now I'm going to give you 2 asshats, 2 decisions. When you 2 can come at me and I'll unlive you 2, or you 2 leave this village and never come back. So, what will it be? Asked Naruto. The 2 knew if they would return the Fire Lord would kill them, but if they don't listen to the blonde. The 2 then thought of what to do. After 4 minutes of silence, the 2 decide to make one last stand. They both shoot a wide fire blast at Naruto, causing Naruto to sigh. He then uses the water to launch himself in the air. He then swings both blades at the 2, cutting them in half. Naruto then stabs his blood spear in the ground. He then stops his blood bending, causing the spear to collapse. He then turns his double-sided sword into its staff form. He then walks over to the kids and stopped when he saw their fearful face. Naruto gives them a reassuring smile. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to help you and everyone in the village, said Naruto, giving them his cheesy grin. The little girl littered with bruises looked up in hope. Just like Annie? Asked the little girl. Naruto raised an eyebrow at this. He had never heard of Annie. Who Annie? Asked Naruto. I am, said a woman whose voice is void of any emotion. Naruto turns around and meets a girl who has considerably short height with a small, yet very muscular build and physique. She has moderately short hair that is often tied at the back with her right fringe, mainly draping over the right side of her face. She has an oval-shaped face, blonde hair, blue eyes, a Roman nose and pale complexion. Her hair color is noticeably paler than Naruto's own blonde hair, and when untied, her hair reaches down the nape of her neck. Her eyes, although of considerable size and proportion, she also an eye tattoo in the middle of her head, often have a sullen vibe to their appearance. She wears a black sleeveless shirt. The collar of this shirt has a red line going to the middle. She wears red and black gauntlets and black fingerless gloves. She wears Fire Nation militarized pants and boots. She also wears a black and yellow jacket. Naruto gazes at the girl who's a year older than him. I take it you are Annie? Asked Naruto. From what Naruto sees, she dresses like a firebender or citizen from the Fire Nation. The mistress girl nods her head. Correct, my name is Annie. What is yours? Asked Annie as she gazes at Naruto with her icy blue eyes. Naruto smiles at this since she seems to show no hostile nature. Well, at least that is. My name is Naruto. I'm actually surprised you didn't attack me or something, said Naruto as he stares at the blonde in front of him. She stares at the dead corpse, then stares back at Naruto. She then shrugs her shoulders. I saw no ill attention towards you, and it's obvious you were saving these 2 children, said Annie. She then bows her head in respect at Naruto. Thank you, Naruto, I appreciate it, said Annie. Naruto smiles at this, and just waves her off. It's no problem, someone has to take out these trash. Besides, it's not like Avatar is going to save everyone. And I'm not the type of person to wait until someone saves me. No one is going to save me, so why wait if you just take actions, said Naruto with a half grin. Annie nods her head. That is true. Would like to help me free this town from those firebenders? Asked Annie without a hint of emotion in her tone. Naruto then wonders, is there any emotion within the blonde girl in front of him? Naruto then smirks at Annie. I thought you never asked me that, said Naruto with grin as the water swirl around him. Flashback end. After that, the two of them killed every single firebender in the village. The firebenders didn't dare come back since the rumor about himself creating water in thin air and Annie being able to shoot explosions from her head which weren't false. So the last firebender that entered had her head blown off and a crushed heart. Annie then met Cha-Cha, Kimmy, and Gaara. Kimmy found Annie quite intimidating, while Cha-Cha found Annie's cold attitude to everything entertaining. As for Gaara, he found her whole cold nature interesting, which isn't a surprise since Gaara had lived in the desert along with the other sandbenders, his father Raza, sister Temari, brother Kankuro, mother Karura, and uncle Yashimaru. Not that Naruto could blame Gaara since the red-haired sandbender basically lived in the desert. Naruto smirks to himself. Dokusui, let's pick up the pace, ordered Naruto. The giant salamander made a loud roar. The giant creature then increases his own speed. Time skip 2 days later. After a long trip, both Naruto and Dokusui had made it to the village, and luckily once he entered the village, Annie, Cha-Cha, Kimmy, and Gaara were waiting for him. Cha-Cha was waving at him with an energetic smile, and for some reason jumping around like a lunatic. Kimmy was giving him a shy, nervous wave. Annie just gives him a nod. He couldn't really tell if Annie was happy to see him since Annie always showed no emotion. Chiffon smiles at him with her eyes closed. Not that surprised Naruto since she has her eyes closed a lot. And Gaara had a small smile and bowed to him. Cha-Cha has light brown skin, gray hair that is put into a side ponytail, and has green eyes. She also has H-cup-sized breast, and she's around the age of 16. She wears a black and red short-sleeved GI, red fingerless gloves, black pants with 3 red lines coming down from her pants, and she wears black, red, and yellow boots. Kimmy has slightly pale skin, short dark hair that reaches her chin, styled in such a way only one eye is visible, and has light purple eyes. Contrasting her tall friend Cha-Cha, she is of slight short stature and slight build, standing at 145 centimeters. She has C-cup breast. Kimmy wears a black and blue bandana. She wears a blue-gray floral Chinese blouse, dark blue pants, and blue and white Chinese shoes. Chiffon physically resembles an average teenage girl. She generally keeps her eyes narrowed to slits, as they are unnaturally colored and possess a line running down her pupils. She has brown hair that reaches down to her shoulders, 2 tied-up bangs covering her cheeks and 2 forehead bangs split up in the middle. She wears a dark tan long-sleeve shirt. Her sleeves also a dark green short-sleeve jacket. On the back of the jacket is a golden badger mole. She wears black leggings, and over them she wears black shorts, and wear gray and green shoes. Gaara has fair skin, green eyes, and short red hair. For most of his life his hair is allowed to remain naturally spiky. He has no distinctive pupils or eyebrows, the latter of which others sometimes make fun of. He's had tanuki-like black rings around his eyes his whole life. He has the tattoo kanji for love on the left side of his forehead, which his hair is parted in order for it to be kept visible. He wears a coat and full-length dark trousers with a pair. Over the coat he wears 2 buckled belts, a gray vest held in place by a single strap over his left shoulder, and 2 buckled belts. Naruto waves back at his friend. He then sweat drops at Chaka's excited nature. Hey Naruto! You finally made it back. Cha-Cha missed you, yelled Cha-Cha as she gives Naruto a wink and a grin, which causes Naruto to sigh and rub the back of his head. As he walks up to her, she gives him a big hug with her breast pressed against his chest. She looks up at Naruto with a wide grin. I missed you, Naruto, yelled Cha-Cha with a wide grin. Naruto sighs at the energetic fire-bender hugging him. He pats her head. She then separates from Naruto, grinning at him. Naruto then gives her a deadpan look. Aren't you ever not excited? asked Naruto as he looks down at Cha-Cha. Her grin then became cheek-slitting. Nope, said Cha-Cha, causing Naruto to sigh. Both fire and waterbender heard giggling. They both turn their heads, see Chiffon giggling with her hand covering her mouth. Chiffon smiles at the two. I see you two are friendly as ever, said Chiffon. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the brunette. Chiffon, what are you doing here? I thought you were going to be busy freeing a small village of a gang of earthbenders, asked Naruto. Chiffon just tilted her head with a small smile. I finished early than I originally planned, said Chiffon with a smile, causing Naruto to sigh. Of course you did, said Naruto. Gaara then coughed in his hand, drawing the attention towards him. While this reunion is nice, we have business, said Gaara. He then turns towards Naruto. But it is good to see you again, said Gaara. Naruto grins back at Gaara. Gaara is right, everyone, said Naruto as he then turns towards Annie. Annie, you'd said you may have found some good warriors that can help with the war, correct? asked Naruto. Annie nods her head. That is correct. The warriors that I believe would make a good addition are the Kyoshi warriors. I assume you've heard of them, correct? Asked Annie. Naruto just grins at her question. He'd of course heard of Kyoshi Island. It was an island Avatar Kyoshi was from. The woman wasn't just strong but incredibly beautiful. Yes, I have. So what we waiting for? Said Naruto, grinning at his friend. Cha-Cha grins at Naruto. She then lets out fire from her mouth. Yay, adventure! Yelled Cha-Cha. She then turns towards Naruto. Let's go, let's go! Yelled Cha-Cha, which Naruto sighed at. He had a feeling the ride to Kyoshi was going to be a long one. Time skip few days later. After a day or 3 they've made it to the island, but once they arrived they were ambushed. Seeing a whole group of Kyoshi warriors, seeing no reason to fight, they surrendering. Seeing no point in fighting future allies, and of course they had their hands tied together by rope. Not that any had problems, since they understand. I mean, if a bunch of strangers arrived on your home, wouldn't you be even a little hostile towards them? Naruto then looks towards the Kyoshi warriors. Okay, we're tied just like you requested. May I speak with your leader? Asked Naruto. A brown-haired girl stepped up. She appears to be around the age of 15. She narrows her eyes at Naruto in suspicion. My name is Suki. Now what are you doing here? Demanded Suki, glaring Naruto and his friends. Naruto smiles at this. My name is Naruto, and these are my friends. We are, well, I don't know what we call ourselves. We are simply people who hate how much the Fire Nation was controlled over, and we want to end this war once and for all. Said Naruto. Suki, still not trusting him, just glares at him. Why should we trust you? Asked Suki. Naruto grins at this. He then bends the moisture in the air. He then creates water whips. Well, for one, I want this war to end, and I would be very grateful if you join my cause. Said Naruto. Suki and all the other Kyoshi warriors widen their eyes. Each of them start talking among each other. After 3 minutes, Suki closed her weapon fan, silencing them. You're the water bender who's been freeing people and killing them, said Suki. Naruto nods his head. But what if we choose to not accept your invitation? Asked Suki. She glares at Naruto as the water drops to the floor. Then I'll drop it and be on my way. But let me ask you something. Can you honestly sleep knowing each day the Fire Nation gets dangerous as the days go by? Asked Naruto. Suki crosses her arms. But the Avatar has returned. Surely he will end the war, stated Naruto to narrow his eyes. The Avatar is nothing but a coward and nothing but a child. His mind isn't even on ending the war but finishing his Avatar training, which means he doesn't even know all the elements. The only one he knows is air. Can you trust someone who ran away from his responsibilities? I mean, he is to blame for the war lasting 100 years? Asked Naruto. After 5 minutes of silence, Suki then thinks about. I hate to admit, but he's right. From the many rumors of the Avatar return wasn't what some wished for. When to-be Avatar had returned, we suspected a man around the age of at least 100 years, but we got was a child. Before she can think even more, one of her Kyoshi sisters run in. The Kyoshi warrior has a frightened, scared expression. Suki, we have intruders. They are riding on a flying monster, yelled the Kyoshi warrior, which causes Naruto to gain a half smirk. So, it seems like I'll meet Katara and her friends real soon. Well, this will be fun, thought Naruto with a grin. Suki rises up and turns towards the waterbender. Aren't you coming? Asked Suki with a raised eyebrow at the blonde who's smirking. Naruto shrugged his shoulders with a smirk. Sure, why the hell not? It'll be fun seeing the idiotic pacifist, said Naruto with a playful grin, but each of the female warriors knew he didn't mean it as a friendly tone. The females couldn't help but to amaze at the obvious hatred for the present Avatar. Suki watches as he picks up the Water Tribe's staff. She then raises an eyebrow at the waterbender. You really don't like the Avatar, do you? Asked Suki as she placed her hand on her hip. Naruto scoffed at her. He then shook his head negativity with a serious expression on his face. No, I don't like this Avatar. I actually hate him and Roku. It is because of the previous Avatar and present Avatar we are in this damn war, said Naruto with his ocean blue eyes turned an icy blue filled with hatred. Sure, Naruto hates the war and Fire Nation, but he mostly hates Avatar Roku and the new Avatar Aang. Naruto sees it's Roku's fault for not killing Sozin when he had a chance, and it's Aang's fault for running away from his duties. Naruto could care less for Aang's reason of being a coward, but because of that cowardice millions have suffered and died. So you just hate Avatar Roku and Avatar Aang? Asked Suki in a curious tone, but also shocked at the level of hatred he has for the two Avatar. You know, I would think you would hate the Fire Nation more, stated Suki. Naruto's eyes shift to the beautiful warrior. I do hate the Fire Nation, but this war is the cause of the arrogance of the Fire Nation, believing they are the superior beings. Because of Roku, he allowed his nation to become what it is, said Naruto in hatred. The blonde and brunette then both walk outside. As they step out, Naruto scans the female warriors. He then hums to himself, these Kyoshi warriors are obviously well trained. If I could gain the help of these women, it would be great to win this war. I'll need everyone's help, not just the help of the benders. The only problem I have at the moment is the fact that I need to find the right moment to attack the Fire Nation. I can't now due to the rebellion I have now is too small. The Avatar is none of my concern. TSK. How pathetic. The strongest person on earth, that idiot, is nothing more than an idiotic child, thought Naruto. As Team Avatar began to make their way on Kyoshi Island, they are greeted by 20 Kyoshi warriors, but that's not what shocked them. Well, for Sokka, seeing an island of warrior women is new, but what's truly shocking is that they see Dokusui, Naruto's sea salamander, and Naruto himself. Aang quickly gets into a fighting stance, pointing his staff at Naruto. What are you doing here? Demanded Aang with a cautious tone. Naruto, who has a stoic expression in his face, turns towards Sokka, and Katara, his stoic face turns to one of a smile. We really need to stop meeting up like this. How you two doing anyway, staying out of trouble? Asked Naruto, who has a sly grin. Sokka grins back at Naruto. While it is good to see his friend, he can't help to be nervous at the sight before him. Ah, man. I really hope this doesn't turn to an all-out battle like last time, thought Sokka as he rubs the back of his head. You know us, trouble follows us, said Sokka. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Katara smiles at Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing here? Asked Katara in a concerned tone. She may have missed him, but she honestly didn't think they'll meet up so soon in just a little time. But she would rather meet up with Naruto than the firebender Prince Zuko. But while her mind wanders towards her favorite blonde bender, but she can't help to think back what he said about the people suffering because of Aang running away from his responsibilities. Part of her wants to argue with Naruto and defend Aang, but part of her agrees with Naruto. If Aang had never ran away, the waterbenders and her mother would have never been taken away her family. Ever since that day, Katara has been doubting about helping Aang learn the other three elements and join Naruto, but she feels conflicted. Her brain is telling her to keep traveling with Aang, but her heart is telling her to join Naruto and his cause. She still remembers the words that her Gran had told her when she and Sokka first joined the Avatar. Do what your heart tells you. Gran, I could really need your advice right about now, thought Katara as she gazes into Naruto's ocean blue orbs. Naruto gives Katara a fox-like grin, showing his canine-like fangs. Well, I've come here to get the Kyoshi warriors to join the army I'm building, said Naruto with his voice laced with pride and confidence. Aang's eyes shot open in shock as he worded the army. Army? What army? Why are you building an army? Exclaimed Aang. Naruto turns to his fellow water tribe members, to the last avatar, with a stern and hardened look. His ocean blue eyes and turned into frozen blue. You ask me why? Isn't obvious. I'm creating an army to go up against the whole Fire Nation, said Naruto as if it was the most simplest thing in the world. But it's my job to fight the Fire Lord, said Aang, believing he's the one to fight the Fire Lord after Avatar did tell him it was his destiny to not only learn all four elements before Sozin's comet arrived, but to defeat the present Fire Lord Ozai. Naruto lets out a mock snort. Really, and who told you that? Asked Naruto. Aang glares at Naruto. Avatar Roku did. He spoke to me and told me it's my job to restore balance, said Aang with conviction in his tone. Naruto nearly snarls at hearing how much admiration Aang has for Roku. So Aang had learned how to speak with Roku, thought Naruto. TSK, why am I not surprised? Only a fool would tell you that, said Naruto in a tone that face off he was annoyed. Aang glares at Naruto. How could you say that about Roku? He was a good man, roared Aang. Naruto just narrowed his eyes at Aang. A good man? TSK, don't make me laugh. He allowed the previous Fire Lord to live, and look what happened. Waterbenders and Earthbenders being hunted like cattle, but your fellow Airbenders are dead. Well, that is also your fault. If only you weren't such a coward. But shouldn't you be leaving? Said Naruto. He then walks over to Dokusui and pets his head. The salamander closes its eyes and releases a low grumbling sound. Katara walks behind him with a raised eyebrow. What do you mean Aang should be leaving? Asked Katara in a worried and concerned tone. Naruto turns his head towards Katara. Haven't you noticed almost everywhere you go Prince Zuko or other firebenders follow you? Like I said, it's only a matter of time before they appear here. I'm sure you three have noticed, haven't you? Asked Naruto. Sokka chuckles nervously and rubs the back of his head nervously. Aha, yeah, we've noticed, but we sorta just accept it, said Sokka. Naruto releases a sigh. Sokka, that isn't smart. Since you and Katara are with Aang, they won't hunting you until they capture Aang or kill him. You must think you know as much as I do. The Fire Nation will do anything to get their way, even kill the innocent and helpless. said Naruto as he grips his necklace that he wears underneath his clothing, at which Sokka raises his eyebrow at he would always see Naruto gripping his necklace. Hey Naruto, I was wondering, I always see you holding on to that necklace, can I see it? Asked Sokka. Upon seeing his friend's concern, he nods his head and takes his necklace out from his shirt. The necklace is a craving of a polar fox. This was given to me by my granny, said Naruto in a saddened tone. Flashback 7 years ago. Location: Southern Water Tribe. An 8-year-old Naruto can be seen playing within the snow, laughing away, giggling as if he's having the time of his life. Naruto turns his head towards an elderly woman who has a kind face. This woman is his grandmother Hama, but to Naruto she's Granny. Look, I build a snow lion bear, grinned Naruto as he shows her his granny his snow bending skills. Hama claps her hands in amazement. That's very good, Naruto, your water bending skills are improving. I know you'll have snow bending down in short time, said Hama with a proud smile. Naruto grins widely at Hama. Grandpa Dan is still in trouble for trying to teach you advanced ice bending, said Hama. Naruto chuckles at his granny, remembering after his grandpa Dan tried to teach him to freeze the temperature, ended up with him encasing himself in a block of ice. Safe to say Dan had to sleep on the couch for 2 months. Ah, Grandpa Dan is in the dig house, exclaimed Naruto as he ran around in circles. Seeing her grandson act so energetic always made her smile. She truly enjoyed every time he would visit. Naruto dear, come here please, I have something for you, said Hama in a motherly tone. Naruto quickly runs towards his grandmother with a huge smile that looks like it's about to rip his face apart. Hama digs into her pocket, pulling out a necklace with a medallion. The string of the necklace is dark bronze in color. The pendant itself is icy blue and was crafted in the shape of a fox. Hama grins at how curious he gets. This is a gift from me, Naruto, I made it myself. Do you like it? Asked Hama. Naruto nods his head repeatedly. She hands it to him, and the blonde takes it into his hand. Wow, Granny, this is amazing. What's with the fox, Granny? Asked Naruto with the tilt of the head. Hama pats his head. I craved a fox because the fox is often associated with the figure of the trickster, but as a spirit animal, it can also turn into a teacher, providing guidance on swiftly finding your way around obstacles. If you follow the fox totem wisdom, you may be called to use or develop quick thinking and adaptability. Responsive, sometimes cunning, this power animal is a great guide when you are facing tricky situations. But I also made it for you because even when I'm gone, I'll always be here watching over you. Even when you're alone, or when the world's against you, just remember I'll always be with you in spirit, said Hama, pointing at his heart. She then wraps her arms around Naruto. The blonde quickly hugs her, not even noticing the deranged, insane look on her face. Just as the two separate from each other, her insane expression is erased from her face. She smiles down at Naruto, and he smiles cheeky at her. I promise I'll cherish it, and won't let you down, Granny, believe it, exclaimed Naruto. You already made me proud, little one, just don't ever give up on what you believe, understood? Asked Hama. He nods his head, at which Hama smiles at. Flashback end. Sokka and Katara looked shocked since they never seen his necklace. Naruto, what happened to her? You never really talked about her actually? Asked Katara as she grabs her own necklace. He glanced at her with a stoic and a blank expression. She's dead. Let's just leave it at that, said Naruto. Katara looks at Naruto with a saddened tone. Per Naruto, I wonder what happened to his grandmother, thought Katara as she watches him walk towards Suki, but seeing her crush standing next to a woman as beautiful as Suki causes the female waterbender to feel jealousy, and she honestly doesn't understand why she feels jealous after Naruto had most likely just met the Kyoshi warrior. Suki stares at Naruto with a serious expression. Naruto, we still have an important discussion, said Suki in a military tone. Naruto nods head in agreement. That's true, we haven't finished our talk, Katara. Sokka, would you like to join us? At least this way we could hang out more, stated Naruto. Katara nods her head with a pink blush across her dark skin. I would love to, Naruto, said Katara happily. The two waterbenders turned towards Sokka. He shook his head. Negativity, nah, I'm good, I want to find the warriors, said Sokka. Both Naruto and Katara shook their head at how sexist Sokka is. They know he's sexist but can be an idiot. Suki chuckles to herself. She then turned towards a fellow Kyoshi warrior. This girl has light brown hair and green eyes. She is Lin Chun. Lin, how about you show our friend our warriors, said Suki. Lin grins in a predatory manner. Gladly, come on, Boomerang, said Lin as she drags away Sokka by the ear. Naruto grins at Lin. Be as rough as you need, he has a thick skull, said Naruto. Lin nods her head. Will do, Kakuku, chuckled Lin. Suki then turned towards Aang. And what about you, Avatar Aang? Asked Suki. Aang was about to join Katara, but the hardened glare by Naruto stopped him. Aang rubs the back of his head nervously. I think I'll visit Avatar Kyoshi, said Aang. Suki, Naruto, and Katara quickly left, heading back into a tent. Naruto sat across from Suki with Katara next to him. She then turned towards Suki. So, you two were speaking about you guys joining Naruto's rebellion army? Asked Katara. Suki nods her head. That is correct. Naruto wants us to join his side. I just don't see why we should. After all, we Kyoshi warriors served Avatar Kyoshi. Shouldn't we do the same with the new avatar? Stated Suki. Naruto shook his head negativity and narrows his blue eyes at the non-bender in front of him. Unlike her successor, Roku, Kyoshi was determined that only true justice could bring peace and had no qualms about killing enemies to achieve this goal. Employing these methods, she was a generally effective avatar. However, some of her actions also caused long-term problems for the Earth Kingdom, while ushering the world into a 233-year-long era of peace. Suki, as you know, the death of Chin the Conqueror and Kyoshi's foundation of the Daily would lead to the decline, corruption, and fall of her home country. Because of this, Kyoshi later came to deeply regret the creation of the Daily. But Kyoshi took her duties of the Avatar serious, unlike Aang or Roku. But let me ask you something? What do you believe you should do? Follow someone who's not ready to do his duty as protector, or join someone who understands the situation we are in? Asked Naruto. Suki hums to herself and thought what he says does bring up some valid points. The current avatar isn't what we believe. Can the Kyoshi warriors truly follow someone like Aang? While Naruto is 15, he doesn't act like it, mostly due to his own hardship, thought Kyoshi. She then releases a sigh. I'll need some time to think about it, Naruto, said Suki. Well, that's understandable. Something like this does take time to think about, but you and your warriors should prepare for Zuko or Zhao, said Naruto in a stern yet cautious tone. Katara raised an eyebrow at Naruto. You really think Zuko or Zhao will come here? Asked Katara. Naruto shook his head negativity. I don't think I know, but I believe it'll be Zuko. After all, from what I heard, he's obsessed with capturing the Avatar. That idiot would most likely follow Zuko. Even if the Avatar was in the most dangerous place in the world, the banished prince would follow, not even caring he'll die in the process, said Naruto. Even if Zuko or Zhao appeared, I know I can take either one on, but if I have to face Iroh or someone like Azula, my chances have become extremely low. Iroh is a veteran general who almost invaded Ba Sing Se. He even killed the dragon. And then there's Azula Ozai's personal lapdog. She a prodigy when it comes to fire bending. Not just that, but she's a genius when it comes to battle tactics. I'm not ready to face her yet, but I know sooner or later he'll send Azula to take care of the Avatar. She'll probably go after me since I've been killing fire benders and building an army, thought Naruto with a narrowed eye. Katara lets out a defeated sigh. She then turned towards Suki. He's right though, it seems almost everywhere we go Zuko isn't far behind us hunting Aang, and if Naruto is correct then Zuko will be on his way over here, said Katara. Suki messages the temple of her forehead. If what you two say is true, I must get everyone ready for that firebender. I'm sure your brother has learned his lesson. Lin, can we rough on new recruits? Said Suki. She then got up and went to the training hall, leaving Katara and Naruto alone. Katara shifts her shoulders in a nervous way. We're finally alone, Naruto, said Katara in a shy tone. Naruto glances at her. He then fully shifts his body and stares into her beautiful blue eyes. He then cups her cheeks and presses his head against her own. They both close their eyes and gain a peaceful expression on each of their faces. Katara, I miss you so much. At least this time we'll have more time to spend together. But I cherish every moment we see each other, said Naruto. Katara, who looks like she's in peace, nods her head in agreement. Well, until Prince Zuko will appears on his ship, stated Katara in a downcast. Naruto opens his eyes and stares at her own wide-open blue eyes. Katara, that's enough of that. No more about Zuko, the Fire Nation, or the Avatar, and I won't talk about war, okay? Said Naruto, at which Katara agrees with him. Naruto then smiles warmly at Karura. She then leans into his personal space with a hopeful, lust, and shy expression as she stares at his lips. She then unexpectedly jumps at Naruto, throwing her arms around his neck. This had caused the two fall over. Not only has Katara fallen on him, but he could feel her B-cup-sized breasts pressed up against his chest, and, as Katara lays above him, she begins to pant in lust, with her face becoming a deep crimson red. With a dazed expression on her face, she then smashes her lips against Naruto, savoring the taste of his lips. But she craved something else, something much more. She craved his love. She then begins to attack his neck, kissing and sucking his neck, but he then feels Katara attempting to remove his clothing. Before she can remove his clothing, he grabs hold of both of her hands. She stares at him with a confused and heartbroken look. But I thought you want me? Asked Katara. Naruto gives her a peck on the lips, but to her it felt longer than it should be. Not only that, but having his hands run across her cheeks always felt amazing to her. Katara, don't ever think I don't want you. I of course want you, but I believe we should wait until we find the right time, said Naruto in a heartfelt tone. Katara grips hold on his shirt. But I want you now, pleaded Katara. Naruto smiles at her. You do have me body and soul. I just would rather our first time being somewhere special and not in a tent. Besides, it's not like anyone is going to take me away. I'm too hard to kill, plus you are the only woman who I have eyes for. I hope you understand, said Naruto. Katara nods her head. Okay, I suppose we can wait until we become one, and maybe on that day the spirits will give me an answer, said Katara. This had caused Naruto to raise an eyebrow at Katara, but he decided not to ask about it since it seemed like something private, and he understands some things people like to keep private. So how's your water bending coming along? Asked Naruto. Katara lays her head on Naruto's shoulder and looks up at him with an innocent and heartfelt smile. It's going okay, but without a proper teacher I can't go any further with my water bending skills. Hey Naruto, who taught you to waterbend? Asked Katara. Naruto smiles warmly. Actually, my family taught me to waterbend, but it was mostly my grandmother who taught me waterbending. Of course, my grandpa, father, and mother taught me too, said Naruto. Katara smiles at Naruto. I take it you guys will be going to the Northern Water Tribe, correct? Asked Naruto as he glances at Katara. She nods her head. We'll have to. That's the only place where myself or Aang can learn how to actually master waterbending, said Katara. Naruto mentally nods his head. I would tell her about the Northern Water Tribe rules, but I believe it would be better to see for herself. This would make her see not everything is as you believe it is, plus healing would come in handy in certain situations, thought Naruto. Naruto then wraps his arm around Katara. She blushed at having his arm around her. She snuggles into his arm. Naruto turned his head, kissed her cheek, causing her to blush. What was that for? Asked Katara. Nothing, I just wanted to kiss my girlfriend, said Naruto. He then nibbles on her earlobe, causing her to moan in ecstasy at feeling Naruto's warm breath on her chocolate-colored skin. And no fair, Naruto, exclaimed Katara. Naruto doesn't say anything, he just continues on with his teasing. He's then forced to stop as he hears a roar. Naruto removes his mouth from Katara's ear and gains a serious expression. Katara looks at him with a concerned expression. What was that? Asked Katara. Dokushi. That's his roar for danger is coming. They're here, said Naruto. He grabs his staff and extends his hand. Katara takes his head and he brings her up to his feet. The two then rush out of the tent, and the two waterbenders see a Fire Nation ship. That's Zuko's ship, said Katara. Sokka ran out, who's wearing the Kyoshi clothing and sporting two black eyes and various of bruises, but neither two make a joke about it. Seems you were right, Naruto, they will come here, said Sokka. Naruto gives a half a smirk. Did you doubt me? Asked Naruto. Sokka shook his head. Negativity. Nope, said Sokka. Naruto twirls his staff. Good, said Naruto. Just as the ship docked the island, Prince Zuko steps off of the ship along his uncle. Zuko glares at Aang, Sokka, and Katara. This time you're mine, Avatar, roared Zuko with an angry expression. TSK, typical fire bender, always acting so high and mighty, snarled Naruto. And who are you? One of the Avatar's friends? Demanded Zuko. Naruto snorted at his comment. Hell no. You might have heard of me. I'm the water bender who's been killing fire bender trash, stated Naruto with a confident smirk. Zuko looked enraged at the fact he's found the water bender who's responsible for killing so many of his fire bender people. Zuko narrows his eyes in disgust. You bastard, I'll make you pay, roared Zuko. He then extends his fist and firing a blast of flames at Naruto. Naruto waves his hands and creates a small water wall. He then twitches fingers and water balls fly towards Zuko. One hits him in the knee, causing him to buckle back. Another one hits him in the chest, and the last one nails Zuko's head, causing him to flip in mid-air. I'll kill as many firebenders if needed. I won't stop till your tyrant of a father is dead, roared Naruto. He then swings his staff and produces a water slash. Zuko narrows his eyes and performs a spinning kick, creating a flaming slash. Both attacks collide, but Zuko quickly fires a volley of fireballs. Naruto raised his hands. Water particle began to form and he claps his hand, creating a powerful water shock wave, blowing Zuko away. He then turns the water and throws an ice disc at Zuko. The firebender prince grunts in pain as an ice disc leaves a long lone scar on his non-burned face. Zuko roars in pain and anger as another disc cuts through his right shoulder and another on his ribs. Zuko slams his hands in the ground, creative a fire wall. Naruto uses the ice disc as a flying object. As Naruto is above Zuko, he breaks the disc apart and transforms it into ice shards. The ice shards then pierce right through Zuko. Everyone watches as the prince hollows in sheer pain. Upon seeing his nephew in pain, he unleashes a large torrent of flame. Naruto's eyes open in shock as he gets blasted away. Naruto quickly gets up, not even minding his burnt clothes and a few burns on his arms. Iroh glares at Naruto. "Young man, I do not like the guys you are doing," said Iroh in Q's stern tone. Naruto glares daggers at Iroh with his eyes burning with hatred. "I don't give damn what you like, scum," snarled Naruto. Iroh then picks up Zuko. "If you keep doing what you are doing, you'll create a darker hole for yourself. Boy, stop this foolish war before more pain and death happens," said Iroh. He then begins to walk back to the ship. "Shut the funk up. You have no right to say that when your people have killed and brought so much pain to this world, firebender scum," yelled Naruto with a hateful glare. Seeing as Zuko and his uncle left, Katara quickly rushes over to Naruto. She gathers water around and begins to heal Naruto's burn marks. "He's dead. His nephew, all of them. I'll kill his whole family," snarled Naruto. Katara puts her hand on Naruto's cheek. "Are you okay?" asked Katara in a worried tone. Naruto grabs hold of her hand, kisses her knuckles gently. "Yeah, I am now," said Naruto. Sokka walks up to them. "So, what are you guys going to do?" asked Naruto. "Well, after Kyoshi Island we plan to go to the Northern Water Tribe so I and Katara can learn water bending," said Aang. "I take it you guys plan to leave right away, huh?" asked Naruto. Katara nods her head. She then hugs Naruto, at which he smiles. He then watches as Team Avatar fly off. Suki walks towards Naruto. "I've decided," said Suki. Naruto raised his eye at her. "Is that so?" "Then what have you decided?" asked Naruto, not even caring if the other Kyoshi warrior is ogling at Naruto. Suki smiles at Naruto. "We'll join your army." "But what do you plan to do now?" asked Suki. The blonde water bender narrows his blue eyes. "Return back home," said Naruto. Suki raised an eyebrow at him. "And where is that the Southern Water Tribe?" asked Suki. Naruto shook his head. Negativity. "No, the Northern Water Tribe," said Naruto. "But first there's something I need. If I want to bring an end to this war, I'll need more power," thought Naruto with a look of determination. Naruto then turns towards the sea. "And why do I have a feeling something is coming?" mumbled Naruto. He then turns to Suki. "What will you do now?" asked Naruto. He doubts it will be long till the Fire Nation hears about the Kyoshi warriors joining the war, and knowing the Fire Nation, they'll conquer and burn it to the ground. We will continue to grow our numbers, and if what you say is true, then I believe the Kyoshi warriors will have to be strong enough not to rely on Aang. We are Kyoshi warriors," says Suki. "If the Kyoshi warriors plan on helping Naruto in this war, they'll need more warriors, especially if they plan on taking the Fire Nation." Suddenly Cha-Cha storms in the room, shocking Suki, but Naruto doesn't seem to react to the overly excited fire bender. "What the hell? Is she always like this?" wonders Suki. Cha-Cha turns to Naruto and points at him. "Okay, we're done. Can we go to the Northern Water Tribe now?" pleaded Cha-Cha, giving him the best puppy dog eyes. "Why do you want to go there?" asked a confused Suki. Naruto, being a waterbender, makes sense why he would want to go, but she's clueless about why this busted teen is so eager. Cha-Cha then turns Suki with a stargaze look, and Suki could have sworn she saw sparkling stars in Cha-Cha's eyes. "I want to build a snowman." "I've never built one before," exclaims Cha-Cha. Suki stares at her with a widened expression, not accepting a firebender to ever be this cheerful and full of energy. "And she's from the Fire Nation?" asked Suki, turning to Naruto. He nods his head. She turns to Cha-Cha, who nods her head vigorously. "Yep, born and raised," exclaims Cha-Cha. Suki looks upon the girl with a deadpan expression. "I don't see it," comments, causing Cha-Cha to pout at Suki. She then grins at Suki. "Watch this," grins Cha-Cha. She then fire bends, creating a fire ring that's circling around her index finger. "Neat, huh? I learned it from a circus fire bender. The Fire Nation might be a stickler for rules, but they have amazing circuses," exclaimed Cha-Cha. "I wouldn't know," says Suki, which is true since she's lived in the borders of the Earth Kingdom all her life, and visiting the Fire Nation has never been on her radar of places to visit. She'd much rather visit the abandoned air temples than step foot in that hateful place. Naruto shrugs his shoulders. "I hate the Fire Nation," states Naruto. Even though he is friends with two firebenders, they were different than the other firebenders. Even though Annie can be a little bit too cold at times, but he had no room to talk about being cold, but that what war does to you changes you. Suki then turns her attention back to Naruto. So should I be expecting any more guests? Asked Suki with a raised eyebrow. Naruto shook his head negativity. Nah, it's just us, but Gaara does have 2 older siblings. One's a bender, and the other is a contender. Think they're somewhere in the Earth Kingdom. Haven't talked to them in a while. Says Naruto, but he did plan to meet up with the older teens after he visits Northern Water Tribe, but he feels like something might happen. He just hoped whatever happens the people of the Northern Water Tribe will be safe. Annie then walks and Suki turns to the other firebender. Annie then turns to Naruto and looks at him with her emotionless eyes. We should also be heading out before other Fire Nation ships catch wind of the Avatar being here. Says Annie. Plus they were wanted by the Fire Nation. Mostly it was her and Naruto, since the 2 of them have killed quite a lot of firebenders. Naruto nods his head and rises to his feet. She's right, we've been here longer than I wanted. Says Naruto. Plus he didn't want to cause these people trouble, knowing that the firebenders will hurt anyone if it means getting what they want. The blonde waterbender then turns to Suki. We'll be leaving now. We have scheduled to be on. Take care, and I do hope to see you Kyoshi warriors again. Says Naruto. Suki looks at Naruto with a sweat drop. She can't help but to find his friends strange, especially that Cha-Cha. She seemed a little bit too energetic for her taste. Gaara, Chiffon, and Kimi can be seen waiting outside, while Kimi seemed to be staring at the Kyoshi warriors in awe. The smiling Chiffon glances at Gaara, who is staring in space with a blank look. I wonder what he's thinking about. It's always hard to even get a read on. Thought Chiffon with a curious look. Maybe Gaara was so hard to get read on was because he's so quiet. Chiffon then turns to Naruto and the others, at which she smiles at them. Ready to go already? Asked Chiffon with the tilt of the head. Naruto nods his head. They each mount on the giant salamander. Chiffon, Kimi, and Cha-Cha waved goodbye at the villagers. Annie then turns to Naruto. Now you have the Kyoshi Island on your side, so what's your next plan? Asked Annie, narrowing her eyes at him. Tell me, do you know who the first Avatar is? Asked Naruto. Each of his friends shook their head negativity. Naruto didn't look surprised. Not many know who the first Avatar is except for maybe the Avatar, and those who have researched a time where the real world and spirit world were connected. Naruto turns to look at his friends with a half smile. He was a man named Wan who was fused with the spirit Rava. She is why the Avatar always reincarnates, and is the oldest spirit. This Avatar spirit has been around even before the humans, but there was another spirit just as she is the spirit of light and peace. He was Vato, the spirit of darkness and chaos. Says Naruto. Everyone stares at Naruto with shock expression. Gaara, Chiffon, and Annie narrowed their eyes at the waterbender. Please tell me you aren't planning to fuse with this spirit just like this one person? Asked a worried Chiffon, staring at her friend with concern. She knew Naruto had done some quite crazy things before, but to fuse with this spirit sounds downright psychotic and suicidal. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, states Naruto in a serious tone. He has read all the ancient texts about Rava and Vata. He has even talked with the elders. He knows the dangers of doing this. Hell, he's aware doing this can kill him. Kimi rises up to her feet with a shocked look, staring at her fellow waterbender. She then loses her balance. She quickly catches herself and sits back down. But you just said this Vato is a dark spirit. You can't trust anything this spirit says. For all we know, he might try to take over your body, exclaimed Kimi. Annie nods her head, agreeing with the petite teen. She's right, this is too dangerous and risky. There has to be another way without you losing your life to an evil spirit, exclaimed Annie. Even to her this was downright insane. Naruto sighs at this, but he saw this coming the moment he planned on telling them his plan. He knew they thought he lost his mind, but this is something that needs to be done. If it means finally winning the war, then he'd gladly risk his life if that's what he has to do. I know the risk, guys, and I'm prepared to do what needs to be done. You guys just have to trust me. We all knew the risk going up against the Fire Nation, and this just another risk we must take, says Naruto. Everyone then looked down, understanding he's right, but that doesn't mean they like it. This plan was a special type of dangerous, but they trust Naruto. Gaara releases a sigh. I think we should trust Naruto. He's never stirred us wrong before, and we all know you wouldn't have thought of this plan if weren't positive it will work. You aren't someone to take chances on a mere whim, says Gaara. He trusted his blonde friend, and him trust Naruto with his life. You know you can at least look at me when you're talking, exclaimed Naruto with a deadpan expression, as Gaara had his head turned the other way, avoiding looking at his best friend. Naruto scoffed at his friend in a deflated tone. Some friend you are, mumbled Naruto. Gaara obviously heard him but didn't voice out anything. Naruto then turned towards Cha-Cha, but she quickly turned her head to the side. He then turns to Kimi, but she just stares at the ocean. Naruto's eyebrow then begins to switch in annoyance. Tsk, whatever? grumbled the blonde. He then rubs his head through his hair and glares into the distance. Your time is running out, Ozai, says Naruto with a fierce look. Time skip. Location: Northern Water Tribe. Kimi then turns towards Naruto with a nervous look. Are sure about this? We could still turn back. Advice: Kimi, this whole place gave her the creeps, maybe because of all the dark energy surrounding this place, and the fact that this spirit is most likely far more dangerous than Ko, or any evil spirit, and she has read about a few spirits. Cha-Cha nods her head vigorously, agreeing with her friend as she holds her petite friend as a security blanket. Naruto waves them off nonchalantly. Don't worry about it, you guys can stay here. This is something I have to do, says Naruto. Both Kimi and Cha-Cha nods their heads, happy that they don't have to go anywhere near the spirit's prison. Kimi and Cha-Cha were sure if they had to follow Naruto they pissed themselves. As they watched Naruto waterbend an ice road, Kimi and Cha-Cha released a deep breath. That was close. I was afraid Naruto might make us go with him, says the trembling Kimi. Cha-Cha nods her head. Yeah, that's way too scary, exclaimed Cha-Cha. Chiffon giggles at her two friends. I can't really blame them, I can feel the evil from here, thought the busta female. She then turns to Annie. Say, why didn't you go with him? Asked Chiffon, giving Annie a cheeky smile. I see no reason to join him. This is his journey, not mine, says Annie with her arms crossed. Chiffon stares at her with a cheeky smile, causing Annie to raise an eyebrow. Are you sure it's that? And not that you are scared as the rest of us? Teased Chiffon. Annie glares at Chiffon with the annoying expression. Tsk, don't be stupid, Chiffon. I'm not scared, hissed Annie, causing Chiffon to giggle. The energetic girl always did know how to get under Annie's skin. Sometimes the stoic girl made it too easy, but then again Chiffon doubts the Fire Nation even has a sense of humor. While they all basically had their own lives, they agreed to go near their spirit was a bad idea. While they had no problem bulldozing their way through a Fire Nation camp, they were in no hurry to meet an evil spirit. Many of them were always told to be wary of the more malicious spirits. Even Annie and Gaara didn't follow the blonde, and they were the ones who had no problem going on dangerous tasks, but this was almost suicidal. Gaara stares at the vast land of ice and snow with a blank look. He then turns to Chiffon, who looks at him with a curious look. We all have our own journey. This is Naruto's journey, not ours. We have to trust Naruto, he'll return, says Gaara. I guess you're right, says Kimi in a shy tone, but if that's the case, why are your fingers shivering? Asked Chiffon in a sly tone, pointing at his shaking hands. Gaara quickly crosses his arms. Both Cha-Cha and Chiffon giggle at his stoic face. Cha-Cha then wraps her arm around his shoulder. She then pokes his cheek. You can be honest. Just admit you're scared, says Cha-Cha in a teasing tone. Gaara just sighs to himself. While his friends were talking among themselves, Naruto continues his path within the icy tomb, but the more he walks the more he can feel the dark intent rolling of the aged spirit. But this didn't stop him. After all, he spent a lot of time gathering every scroll text of the two ancient spirits and harmonic convergence. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find anyone who can spirit bend, but he did find old Water Tribe books containing the techniques. There's no way I'm trying back now. I've come too far to just walk away. Besides, this is the only way to fight on even ground against Ozai, thought Naruto. He then narrowed his eyes as the icy wind hits his whiskered face. Who dares enter my cave? Demanded Vato in a demanding. The spirit obviously wasn't happy that some boy wander in his cage. Ever since his defeat against one, he grew a bitter disgust with humans. Naruto narrows his eyes. He knew if he falters it could be the last thing he does. Don't show weakness, thought Naruto. He then narrowed his eyes at the frozen prison. He refused to let fear control his actions. Vato, I've come to bargain, exclaimed Naruto. Suddenly Vato's red markings covering the cave. You have nothing to offer me. Now leave, child, roared the ancient spirit. He may hate his prison, but he refuses to deal with some ignorant child, and he couldn't really find himself to care how Naruto found this place. Naruto stares blankly at the ice. I know what you want, great spirit. The death of Rava, the spirit that inhabits the Avatar, says Naruto with a smirk, knowing he now has the spirit's attention. It's time for a new avatar, an avatar that will bring peace with any means necessary. I can assure you great Vato Aang is unaware of the spirit dwelling inside him. He doesn't even know why he's always reincarnated when he dies, states Naruto with a sly smirk. You now have the full attention. Chill, I am trapped in this prison. How do you suspect to free me? The barrier isn't even weakened, declares Vato. He didn't care if this boy did have a plan to kill his nemesis. He will not be baited by some brat. Unlike Aang, I've spent my time understanding the spirits and the spiritual world, As of right now, I am the only spirit bender, says Naruto. If Vato could an emotion right now, it would be shock, and there was only one person he knew that could spirit bend. If you are a spirit bender, then free me to do so, and I will join you in your journey in destroying the Fire Nation, but I want Rava dead. Do so and I will agree to become the Dark Avatar, says Vato. He may say that, but the spirit didn't believe the child. Naruto didn't bother saying anything. He knew the evil spirit didn't believe. He doesn't matter how convincing the young waterbender might sound, the spirit. It is times like this talking won't help. The only way Vato is going to listen to him is by actually doing what he says. With a calm and relaxed expression, Naruto's hands begin to move slowly, similar to how he would waterbend the barrier, then begins to crumple, freeing the spirit. With the spirit free, Naruto stares at it. I take it we're on an agreement now? Asked Naruto, staring at the red spiritual being. Yes, my wait has finally come to a stop. At last, I can finally destroy my nemesis. The Avatar is done for, exclaimed Vato. He then enters Naruto's body. His eyes then begins to glow red. A red symbol of Vato then appears on it, his abdomen. The Avatar's cycle has finally ended, roars Vato with rage. And a new one has just started. The Dark Avatar cycle has started, states Naruto. His eyes then begins to turn back to their natural blue eyes. He then takes in a deep breath. The large ice prison is then turned into a large dome of fog. Naruto then stares down at his hand with a wide smirk. I'm gonna like this, grins Naruto, excited with his new powerful water bending, and now he will be the Avatar. The world Avatar had funked up in 2 lifetimes, but he as the Dark Avatar won't make the same mistake as Roku, and he sure as hell isn't some dumb little goofy brat. Time skip. Not only do we have the Avatar and our fellow Water Tribe siblings, but he also has Naruto, grandson of Counselor Dan, exclaims the chief of the village. Aang, Sokka, and Katara each looked on in shocked, but with Katana, there is a glint of happiness in her eyes, while Aang just looked shocked, not expecting to see the deadly water bender. They watch as Naruto and Kimi both bowed to the chief in respect. Naruto smiles at the chief. The honor is ours, Chief Anuk, says Naruto. He then turns to the waterbending master Paku. And I hope you don't mind if I watch one of your lessons. I've heard nothing but good things about your teaching? Asked Naruto. The old man sighs. If you must, you can observe, but don't you dare interrupt my lessons because of some childish amusement, states Paku. Naruto just nods his head. The blonde teen turned towards the petite teen. So, what are you gonna do? Asked Naruto. Kimi then turns to Naruto. I was going to see healers. My healing needs some work. What about you? Asked Kimi. She then notices Katara is staring at them with a small smile. The young Water Tribe girl blushes at them while Sokka rolls his eyes at his sister. Kimi pouts at Katara, feeling jealous that she has someone like Naruto. Sure, Naruto can be a bit mean and merciless at times, but he's a good person. He has helped so many people. You're lucky, Naruto, says Kimi. Yeah, I know, says Naruto as he smiles at Katara, the girl he's known for very long. She's also the girl who he loves. He may be young, but he knows what they have is real. He can only hope she and Sokka won't hate him for what he plans to do, but if it comes to that, he'll just have to keep moving. Kimi watches as Naruto makes his way to Katara. She sighs happily as the two envelopes each other in a hug. Cha-Cha then giggles behind Kimi. She turns to her buster friend who's grinning like an idiot. Well, someone's not happy, says Cha-Cha. Both girls turn to look at the Avatar, who's staring at the two waterbenders with envy and jealousy. Naruto then brings Katara over to his grandfather and parents. The 3 adults turn to the young teenagers. Minato and Kushina smile at Katara, remembering this was the girl that used to play with their son years ago, and for some reason, Katara begins to feel nervous and embarrassed, and she wasn't quite sure, maybe because she's standing before her crush's family. She prays to the spirits that her brother won't do anything stupid, well, more stupid than usual. Naruto smiles at his parents. Grandpa, this is the girl I told you about, says Naruto. He turns to his grandpa Dan. The old man seems to be staring at Katara better hard. She blushes at the elder. The old man then begins to stroke his white beard. You're the only bender at your village? Asked Dan. Katara nods her head. The old man begins to smile at her. How that's amazing, and you've been helping the Avatar, exclaimed Dan. Katara blushes at the compliment. Kushina then hugs Katara. Ah, you're so adorable. Don't you think, Minato? Isn't she the cutest thing? Exclaimed Kushina. She releases Katara and begins offering her sweets. Minato chuckled at his wife. Ever since Naruto left to go on a journey, she had missed her son, and whenever he will send a letter it would make her excited. Minato then pats his wife on the back. Come on, leave Naruto's girlfriend alone, says Minato with a smile. Kushina pouts at her blonde husband. But I want grandkids. Lots of them, exclaimed Kushina. Naruto grabs hold of Katara's hand. Okay, Bye, says Naruto, and walks away from his family really fast, dragging her back to her brother and Aang. The two sit themselves down, sitting next to Sokka. You seem to be failing, as he hits on Princess. The two giggles at this smooth boomerang. Real smooth, snickered Naruto, causing Sokka to glare at Naruto, who had a sly smile. Naruto is then sucked into his mind. He notices he's in complete darkness, that is until Rava appears before he stares down, glaring at Naruto. What the hell do you think you are doing? You'd agree to kill the Avatar, roared a frustrated Vato. Naruto stares at Vato, a blank look. I don't expect you to understand, but I'm being human. I have a plan. Before I kill Aang and Rava, I will make them lose their faith in Aang, said Naruto with a smirk. I don't understand, just kill the boy, declares Vato. I never said you would. Vato, trust me, having everyone against him, no longer wanting him dead, will hurt him more than any physical pain. He is after all just a boy. Besides, I would be foolish to betray you, says Naruto. Yes, you would. Now, leave me, boy, declares Vato, throwing him out of his mindscape. Naruto blinks in confusion as Katara stares at him with a worried look. Are you okay? asked Katara. Naruto nods his head and smiles at her. He then kisses her hand, causing her body to feel very hot. Yeah, back in my village I may dash. A minute? says Sokka. The beautiful girl nods her head, giving him a bright smile which nearly stops the gears in Sokka's head from working. He grins at her. The young warrior then turns to Naruto. Katara, who is being quite lovely-dovely, if you two are going to do that stuff, then go away. Can't you see I'm talking to someone? complains Sokka, glaring at Naruto. Naruto shrugged his shoulders at Sokka. That's fair. Come on, Katara, I know somewhere you'll like, says Naruto. He then waves to his friends. Katara smiles at his, grabbing his hand, enjoying the heat coming from him. Have fun, yells Cha-Cha. Naruto chuckles at this. Aang then looks at this scene with the uneasy feeling. He then turns to Sokka. Sokka, are you sure that's a good idea? asked Aang. Sokka then waves him off. They're fine. Naruto is with her, says Sokka. Aang then watches as the two leave. That's what I'm afraid of, mumbled Aang with a sigh. With a cold breeze, both find themselves at home at this place. They feel even stronger, possibly because of the spirits that live here. Naruto then turns to Katara. Having fun? asked Naruto. Yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'll finally learn from a water-bending master, exclaimed Katara. Naruto did consider about telling her, but he felt like this is something she needs to do on her own. He squeezes her hand, enjoying how their finger intertwined. She then turns to him with a smile. Maybe you can watch? pondered Katara. Nah, I can't stand Baldy. I have my own training to do, and if you were there, I don't know if I can hold back, says Naruto. Her cheeks become cherry red. She watches as he leans into her face. She can feel his warm breath. She then lets out an audible eep as he nibbles on her earlobe. I do love teasing my little water princess, grins Naruto. Katara turns her head away from him, content with staring at her feet. Where are you taking me? You never said where we're going, states Katara. He just shrugs his shoulders. Where's the fun in that? states the blonde teen. She looks away with a pout, ignoring the chuckle from Naruto. Maybe I won't like it, says Katara with a grin. He grins back at her. Maybe you will, says Naruto, grabbing hold of her hand. Katara smiles at him. I miss you, says Naruto. She stares at him in shock, and she was sure her heart just somersaulted. She then leans her head on his shoulder for support. I miss you too, Naruto, but if you end up like Jet, I won't forgive you, says Katara, but it held no malice or anger you would think from coming from someone like Katara. Well, it's a good thing I'm not crazy, but, says Naruto. Katara raised an eyebrow at him. But, trailed the female. I have your heart, grins Naruto with a sly grin on his tan skin. Katara blushes a deeper shade of red. She holds onto his arm. Not trust her legs since they feel like jelly, but the blonde can't help but to wonder how she's going to react when he eventually ends the avatar, and the spirit within him. At best she's gonna hate me, thought Naruto, but he quickly remembers how much his granny suffered because of Avatar Roku not killing the previous avatar. Katara then turns to him, a questionable stare, as she sees a large hill here? asked Katara. Naruto smiles at her with a nod. As the two make it to the lodge, she stares in awe as she's able the frozen town, but she's also maybe to see a pack of snow wolves running. It's beautiful, Naruto, says Katara. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. It is a nice view, but what's in front of me is even more beautiful, says Naruto. The blonde then tucks her hair behind her ear. As their faces draw closer to each other, they sealed it with a kiss, but this wasn't no peck of the lips. No, this was one of passion and desire. She wraps her arms around his neck, moaning into the kiss, as he hugs her waist, causing her developing breast to be smashed against his chest. Naruto then begins to gently nibble on her bottom lip, asking for permission. She opens her mouth, and the two have a fierce tongue battle. The two are then forced to let each other go as their faces separate from each other. Katara pants heavily from the makeout session, but Naruto doesn't stop. He then begins to nibbles on her collarbone, causing her to release a loud moan which causes her to accidentally bend the snow back as he sucks on her neck. She buries her hands into his scalp. She then releases an eep as Naruto brushes his hand over her breast. He then pulls away, but she stops him by hugging face, having his face sandwiched. No, stay. I was just surprised. I want this. I mean you. Don't you want me? Whispered Katara. Naruto pulls out of her grasp. He then holds her chin up, staring at her beautiful blue eyes. Of course I do, says Naruto. He then smashes his lips against her own, causing her to groan. She unconsciously grinds herself against them both, then blush. Naruto because he has a total hard-on, and Katara blushes because she can feel it. Naruto then kisses her neck. She then nods her head. He then pulls the blue cloth holding her ponytail with her hair fully out. Beautiful, mutters Naruto. He then places his hand on her cheek. Let's go to my parents' house, says Naruto. Katara nods her head with positively. The next day, Naruto glances at a grumpy Sokka. Well, Sokka looks pretty pissed and angry, and Katara didn't look too happy either. He glances at Kimi, who's blushing at Sokka. He then turns to Cha-Cha, who's playing in the cell. Okay, he's pissed about striking out with the princess. So I take it you're pretty mad about Master Paku? Asked Naruto in a lazy tone. Both Aang and Katara looked shocked, while Sokka just looked at him with a raised eyebrow. Why, you knew? Stuttered Aang. Naruto just nonchalantly nods his head. Besides, it wouldn't matter if I told you, says Naruto with a sigh. Katara glares at Naruto in frustration. And why not? Asked Katara. 'Cause you would have still been mad. Besides, my grandfather is from here, so I would know the rules of this tribe. Besides, it's not like he was the one who made this law, says Naruto. Katara crossed her arms in anger. He's still a sexist jerk. I don't like him. He's rude and grouchy, says Katara. Naruto smirks at her. Well, I never said he wasn't those things, says Naruto. Cha-Cha then backflips and makes a snow angel and starts laughing, who seems like she's having a great time. Aang, why don't you just teach Katara after training? Asks Cha-Cha. Katara smiles brightly. She's right. This way you have a teacher and I get to learn water bending. Everyone's happy, exclaims Katara with Aang nodding his own head. I'm not happy, groans Sokka. You're never happy, comments Katara, with Sokka just shrugging his shoulders. You can sense them? Can't you? Asked the dark spirit, but as he spoke it felt like the dark spirit was sending whispers through his ears. This is just something he'll have to get used to. You mean Tue-in-Law? The ocean and moon spirits? Asked the blonde. Yes, they are here, hidden in plain sight. I wonder if this avatar even knows? Asked Vada. With that, he then retreats back into Naruto's mindscape. With Katara and Aang when Naruto then turns to Sokka. So, what are you gonna do? Asked Naruto, wondering what Sokka gonna do. Sure, you is beautiful, but she's engaged, which makes things hard. Of course, you could just do what many other women from the Water Tribe had done and leave. But he knew the chances of you doing that are slim to none. Sokka sighs loudly. I don't know, I guess try to be friends or something, comments Sokka. Since he can't be in a relationship with the beautiful princess, he could at least try to befriend her, even though that's not what the warrior wants. Chiffon giggles in her hand, causing Sokka's eyebrow to twitch at the tone of teasing is laced with her laugh. Trouble in paradise, teases Chiffon. She then turned to Naruto, who got up. Worried? Asked Chiffon with a sly smile. Naruto rolled his eyes. There's something I need to check out. Hey Annie, Gaara wanna come? Asked Naruto. He was pretty sure the two didn't have anything really planned out. He watches as Gaara nods his head while Annie shrugs her shoulders with them until he leaves a depressed Sokka alone with Kimi, Chiffon, and Cha-Cha. Annie turns to Naruto. Where are we going? Asked Annie. Naruto shrugged his shoulders, causing her to raise an eyebrow. With both being stared at by his friends causes him to sigh. I sense the moon and ocean spirit, says Naruto. This caused both Sand and Firebender to stare at their friend's confusion. Call it an advantage of being the Dark Avatar, says Naruto. This statement only increases their curiosity. What do you plan to do? Asked Gaara in a low tone. He doubts Naruto would do anything to hurt them due to his bending being connected to the two spirits. Nothing extreme if that's what you're thinking. I want to introduce myself to them, says Naruto. And how do you plan to do that? Asked Gaara. Just as Aang can go to the spirit world, so can I now, says Naruto. While the boy had gained new powers and a deadly ally, he had also gained a powerful position that most aren't prepared for. Now taking the rule of Avatar, even though he is a Dark Ones, he doesn't desire consuming everything in darkness or chaos. No, what he wants are peace and freedom. It nearly took them half the day to find the two spirits, but once they have, the three of them found themselves awestruck at the lush place because of how spiritual the place is. It even gives off a warm feeling far different than the sun on a summer day. Annie then turns her attention to Naruto, who sits down in front of La and Tue. So, what now? Asked Annie. Now, I need to concentrate, says Naruto. They watch as he sits still for nearly 30 minutes as the blonde meditates. His eyes open up. Instead of the eyes becoming a bright blue, his eyes turn red. He then finds himself on a small green lush land and surrounded by water that seems to go on forever. In front of him were the two fish spirits. Naruto then bows to the two spirits. Evening, great spirits. I am Naruto, the Dark Avatar, says Naruto. We know who you are, young one, says Tue. We know what you've done, says La. You have upset the natural balance of the with what you've done, says Tue. Naruto watches as the two spirits swim around, watching his every move. I had no real choice, comments Naruto. The Avatar has returned. It is the Avatar's duty to bring balance, says Tue. And yet Roku failed his duty as the Avatar, allowing Sozin to live, and Aang, the new Avatar, had run away, and he is just learning water bending because of the actions of Aang and Roku. Millions have suffered hell. Even the homes of spirits have been destroyed. The Fire Nation has ruined everything. They have even killed every dragon and Sky Bosan. If Avatar Kyoshi was around, she would have ended Sozin long before he could have started his plan, says Naruto. He unconscious tightened his fist, remembering all the villages he'd been to that were destroyed. I am the Avatar this world needs. Aang is an air nomad. They don't believe in killing, and because of said beliefs, he won't do what needs to be done. Even as someone as evil as Ozai, the Avatar won't kill him, but I will. To protect everyone, I will do what must be done. Even if I have to soak my hands in the blood of enemies, I will do so to protect not only my people but everyone, exclaims Naruto. Both ocean and moon spirits stop circling around him and just stare at him. They seem to be thinking over everything that he said and what has happened since the birth of Roku. You speak the truth, young one. Since the fall of Avatar Roku, the world hasn't been the same, says Tue. Following the death of Avatar Roku, the balance hasn't been the same. Avatar Roku is at fault for what has happened, says La. The two aquatic fishes then continue to swim around him. But you are correct, child. Avatar Kyoshi would have stopped this war before it could start. We have made a decision, says La. The two then stops in front of him. Both spirits' eyes glowed blue while Naruto's glows red. His mind is then swarmed with various of water bending techniques. It wasn't just bending water but various types such as ice, snow, mist, and cloud bending. The next day, couple of days went normal with Naruto and Annie practicing against each other. Katara and Kimi were watching the duel. Annie launches a fire blast from her fist. She then sends a spinning fire kick. Naruto sends a water blast, knocking her back a couple of steps. She sends another fireball. Naruto quickly creates an ice dome. He then launches ice columns at her. She's then forced to either burn and dodge. Suddenly a black spot falls on the ground, catching them off guard. Both then look at the sky with a glare. Damn it, they're here, snarls Naruto as he watches the infamous black snow to fall. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comment section how was the story. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.